Wow, happy Monday. It's about 78 degrees according to my car thermometer. It's very nice, very spring like, but it is still February. We still got a couple more days in February, or actually a lot more days in February. So I don't know if we're going to get another cold snap like we did last week, but we might get the last cold bite. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. Let's see here. We're going to be talking about Joe Biden is a joke. He really is a joke. I mean, everything about him is a joke. He can't put sentences together. He's going to have another State of the Union tomorrow, which I'm not going to watch. Really, the only State of the Union I watched was Trump, just because he made it entertaining. I don't know if it's going to be boring. I don't know if it's just going to be a train wreck. I don't know, but what to expect from Joe Biden's State of the Union address, spy balloon shot down recap. Let's see here. I don't really care. Let's see here. Let's see here. Biden aid Republicans have no debt ceiling spending cut to plan of their own. Um, I just want to know what the going on with the spy plane. Let's see here. Biden team should have shot down the Chinese balloon earlier. My understanding is we actually saw it come from China, go over to Alaska, and it didn't get shot down before it hit Alaska. Congressional Republicans took on Sunday the show to bash Biden over China's surveillance balloon, saying the entire incident reflected administration weakness towards an increasing aggressive China. While the administration shot down the balloon on Saturday, Rep. Mike Turner of Ohio told NBC Meet the Press that the interception should have taken place a lot earlier. And keep in mind, we would not have known, the public would not have known if it wasn't for Montana, from my understanding. It should have been taken down before it entered U.S. airspace when it was over was over Alaska, said Turner, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. The administration officials said that they waited until the balloon was over the ocean to minimize the risk to aircraft and the people on the ground. Rubio balloon is not a coincidence. Senator Marco Water Rubio, Thirsty Rubio. Yeah, I remember you drinking water. I'm not really hating on it. I just thought it was hilarious. Ranking member of the Senate Intelligence Committee criticized Biden administration to over suspect Chinese spy balloon, saying that the timing was not coincidence. It's not a coincidence. This is happening leading up to the State of the Union address, leading up to Blinken's visit to China. Rubio told on CNN State of the Union. The Biden administration is scheduled to brief of Yang Gavate this week about the balloon. The group comprised of Congress 4 party leaders and the chair's ranking members of the House State Intelligence Committee, which includes Rubio. Anything more about butt plug? Secretary of Transportation butt plug, or Buttigieg, or whatever you want to call him. The U.S. waited to shoot down the Chinese balloon until it drifted over the ocean, responding to Republican criticism. Buttigieg said Sunday that the Biden administration waited several days to shoot down the Chinese surveillance balloon because it was over American land and airspace. We've known about it. We're finding reports that United States military knew about this, saw it being launched from China, hence why we know it came from China, waiting until it went to Alaska, all the way to Montana, up to Canada for a brief stint, and then back down to South Carolina. And also, I don't know if anybody's traveled across America. If anybody has traveled across America knows that there's a lot of open land out there. Hell, Montana is nothing but land. I think it's like one of the least populated states. I mean, you got Alaska per capita, which is probably least populated. You got nothing but a big, gigantic national forest over in Alaska. Chinese surveillance because it was over American land and airspace. shooting the huge heavy equipment balloon over the land would have been risky for the aircraft and the people on the ground. Risky for the aircraft and people on the ground. Buttigieg said on NBC Meet the Press. So the U.S. waited until it drifted over the Atlantic Ocean on Saturday. The Federal Aviation Administration worked closely with the Pentagon. Buttigieg said the first thing was brought down in a safe manner and flights are back to normal in the U.S. Let's see here. Democrats voters aren't keen on Biden. Neither are the Republicans. Neither is independent. Let's see here. United States Saturday down, blah, 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 blah. Off the Carolina coast as a blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's going to be heading to the FBI. Among many lingering questions about the Chinese spy balloon drifted over the United States, why the balloon was in U.S. airspace, why now? What are they signaling? What do they hope to achieve? Said Carrie Bingen, the former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, Intelligence, and Security, because this is something you can't miss. They're going to get caught. This is what's so brazen about it. This is the first remarks of the balloon with Chinese maintain a civilian airship used mostly for relevant research was blown off course. Biden projected confidence. We're taking care of that, he told reporters Saturday. No. And that's enough of that crap. And of course, we got the CNN, the most untrusted news source. You got John Bolton. Yeah, John Bolton. Another POS. The transition of 3 suspected Chinese balloons over the continental U.S. during Trump administration was only discovered after President Joe Biden took office. Senior administration told CNN on Sunday, I want to see receipts. I want to see receipts that these 3 actually did happen. The officials did not say how or when the incidents were discovered. I want to see receipts. The official says that the intelligence community was prepared after briefings of the key Trump administration officials about the Chinese surveillance program, which Biden administration believes have been deployed in countries across 5 continents over the last several years. After a Biden administration disclosed last week the suspect Chinese balloon was hovering over Montana, a Pentagon says similar balloon incidents occurred during Trump's administration. I want to see receipts. Now, let's see here. In a former Trump administration Defense Secretary Mark Esper told CNN Friday he was surprised by that statement. I don't ever recall somebody coming to my office or reading anything that the Chinese had surveillance balloon above the United States, he said. The former President Donald Trump also said on Truth Social this week that reports of Chinese balloons transiting in the U.S. during his administrations were fake disinformation. Does that mean it's real information because it's disinformation? John Bolton, the former national security advisor under Trump, also pushed back on the assertion that the balloons surveyed in the U.S. during the former president's tenure was asking, did Biden administration invent a time machine? What is the basis of this new detection? And added, he would take a briefing of the current administration Trump-era balloon discovery if it was offered to him. The very fact, if it is a fact that the Chinese tried this before, should have alerted us and should have caused us to act or take action before the balloon crossed American sovereign territory, Bolton said on Monday to CNN this morning. Biden administration now says incidents were not discovered until after the Trump administration already left. Surprise, surprise. More gaslighting. But the officials did not say how these incidents were discovered or when. CNN reported Sunday that Pentagon had briefed Congress previous Chinese surveillance balloons during the Trump administration with new administrations that flew near Texas and Florida. Rep. Michael Waltz confirmed the statement Sunday. Currently, we understand that these were the incursions near Florida and Texas, but we do not have a clarity of what kind of systems that were on these balloons. If these incursions occurred in the territories of water or overflew land. This highlights an issue. This really does highlight an issue. Why is the people not being told about this, for one? Second, if this did truly happen under Trump, why wasn't Trump aware of this? Are the generals lying? I mean, the generals lied about troop movements in Syria. So either the military's lying about this to the president because they didn't trust the president, which is a whole set of more important informations, or Biden is trying to gaslight us, saying that this is just normal. This is what Chinese does, which is also an issue because if it didn't happen under Trump, it means that this president's lying, trying to cover his own ass, which also is another set of questions and issues. I have no clue what the truth is at this point in time because I want to see receipts of this happening under Trump. Because I seriously doubt Trump would have taken this quietly. And also, as many people pointed out, there's a whole slew of Democrats in Congress that would have nailed Trump for this. You got Schiff, you got, can't think of his crying self. The person in Congress, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they would have all rallied a war cry over this if this truly did happen under Trump. But none of that happened under Trump because it either didn't happen or the military is lying to our elected officials that make decisions to shoot down these balloons. That's a bigger issue. I mean, if that is really what's happening, then we got bigger issues in the United States. And also, I was listening to the radio on KLBJ in Austin. Someone called in that this balloon was the perfect height for an EMP bomb. Now, if an EMP went off in that direction, a whole lot of America would be without power because it would have fried a lot of electronics. So, I don't know what's going on with this 3 balloons that happened under Trump administration because you got a lot of people denying it ever happened. You got people saying that they only discovered it recently after Trump left office, which leads me to question who's watching our skies and why did this go through and went unreported for so long. It really doesn't leave a warm and fuzzy about America's airspace safety. But either way, Joe Biden's a joke. He said that he wanted to shoot it down and his general said not to. I'm sorry, you're the commander in chief. You either make that decision or you don't. Don't try to gaslight us saying that you didn't want it, that you wanted to shoot it down. Because you had plenty of chances to shoot it down. America is a big country and not a lot of it's populated. That being said, that is my video. What is your theory about this whole Chinese balloon thing? Let me know down in the comments below. With that being said, hopefully you have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.